Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, an entire department fired by the University of Florida.
It's not a good day to be a Florida Gator.
The high-profile alumni is speaking out against the unprecedented decision. Plus,
achievement for students is not just about what happens academically in a classroom.
Blacksburg County Public Schools prioritizing student wellness in addition to education.
And remembering the K-9 officer who died.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
More than 24 UF employees are out of a job after a new law went into effect. This is First at 5. I'm Serra Sowers.
And I'm Kennedy Mason. The employees made up the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and the decision to shutter their office is receiving backlash from many, but praise from Florida's governor. WFT's Jake Lynch is live at UF. Jake, you spoke to several groups and UF's teacher union about this move that's the first of its kind.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are designed to help represent every group. That's gender, race, disabilities, and even sexual orientation. Today, I talked to student and professor organizations about how the elimination of the DEI program here at the University of Florida will be impacting them and their futures.
I've heard a lot of sentiment like, it's not a good day to be a Florida Gator.
Walker Hall used to be home to the Chief Diversity Officer at the University of Florida. But as of Friday, that position and more than 24 others no longer exists. The decision is in accordance with the new Florida law against DEI funding. UF is the first to cut its DEI department in the state, and not everybody is happy about leading the charge.
We feel that this is outrageous. These were individuals hired, these are individuals who are being fired for the very things they were hired for. This is really unprecedented.
Faculty and student organizations that I spoke to feel the decision blazes trails for other funding cuts at the university.
We're scared that the defunding and the firing of these employees is just going to lead to further implications such as the defunding of safe spaces.
Governor DeSantis, who signed the DEI bill into law, went to social media to commend the university by saying DEI is toxic and has no place in our public universities. I'm glad that Florida was the first state to eliminate DEI and hope that other states follow suit. The $5 million that originally went to the DEI department will now be going to future faculty and teacher recruitment.
In Friday's memo, university leaders said that those that lost their job are actually encouraged to reapply to other positions at the University of Florida, saying that they will be prioritized. Reporting live here at the University of Florida, Jake Lynch, WUFT News.
Many took to social media over the weekend to voice their displeasure with UF's move, including former Gator great Emmitt Smith.
In a post on X, the Florida football legend slammed the university's decision and called for minority athletes and employees to speak out. The lengthy statement reads in part, quote, "We cannot continue to believe and trust that a team of leaders, all made up of the same background, will make the right decision when it comes to equality and diversity. History has already proven that is not the case." The All-American running back also encouraged athletes to speak out against the university, citing silence as a sign of support. His reaction comes along others concerned about the university's future.
We will continue to see rainy and stormy days this week. Take a look at the storm tracker radar. The UF weather team says we will see impacts from this line of storms starting tomorrow. North Central Florida will see pockets of rain for at least the next few days. UF forecaster Morgan Plotka is timing out when we will start seeing showers in your weather forecast.
Yeah, so we are tracking storms happening out in the west near Texas. Here's Macomb. It's looking really stormy, a lot of storm concentration happening there. We also got some in the Gulf of Mexico, and we should see those storms start to hit north central Florida on Tuesday. But that's not what it's really going to look like right now outside. Here's a look at our campus cam. It's looking really sunshiny right now. Lots of clouds in the sky, 74 degrees in Gainesville, feels like 73, and it's looking really nice outside right now. Temperatures right now are in the high 70s, 77 degrees in Gainesville, 78 degrees in Ocala, and 78 degrees in the Villages. It's going to look really nice outside right now until we hit tomorrow when those rain chances really start to come in at noon, and we're going to see pretty high temperatures, and then those rain's going to continue. Back to you.
Gainesville police are warning parents to stay alert about their children's social media use. Officials say predators use social platforms like Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok, among others, to solicit children or send child abuse material. This warning comes after the sentencing of 34-year-old Shalom Gilden for the possession and distribution of these materials. Gilden was sentenced to 30 months in the Florida Department of Corrections and will spend 10 years in sex offender probation. Officials say he had 80 files depicting children engaged in sexual activities on his phone.
Earlier today, community members joined the Marion County Sheriff's Office in honoring the service of Canine Officer Leo. Several other police canines stood at attention with deputies to remember Leo, who was shot and killed protecting his deputy during an encounter with a suspect. Speakers from the Marion County Sheriff's Office led a prayer and moment of silence. Leo's handler, Corporal Justin Tortora, spoke at the memorial, remembering Leo for his service and strength.
The violence that was intended for us, Leo stood in that place, took that violence, and he continued to fight through it all. It was amazing to watch. It was the bravest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because of Leo, I've had 16 days with my wife. I've had 16 days with my daughter.
Corporal Tortora reiterated thanks to Florida Highway Patrol, Marion County Fire Rescue, and the UF Veterinary Hospital for their quick assistance in doing everything they could to save canine Leo.
It's been a year since a Marion County woman disappeared, and deputies have a lead in her disappearance, but they need your help to put the pieces of her last whereabouts together. 26-year-old Serra Ebersole, as you can see on the screen, vanished in Reddick last March. Deputies say she was last seen with Tyrone Moorman at a convenience store in the earlier morning hours of March 3rd, 2023. When questioned, deputies said Moorman lied about being out of town and whereabouts on his cell phone. He was arrested for lying to law enforcement. Moorman is considered a person of interest in Sarah's disappearance. Deputies are hoping witnesses who know what happened or seen the pair together come forward. If you know anything about Sarah's disappearance, you're asked to call the Marion County Sheriff's Office.
4 Alachua County Public Schools opened the doors to new wellness rooms today. WUFT's Alex Land is live in the studio to tell us about these spaces and how it affects students.
Over 100 wellness rooms are in use in the project's home state, Utah. Calm rooms opened at Rawlings Elementary, Metcalf Elementary, Howard Bishop Middle, and Hawthorne Middle and High School today. Now, 7 are open in Alachua County.
Dim lights, resting spaces, and soothing music fuel the landing. The low stimulation space plays off Marjorie K. Rawling Elementary School's mascot, the Rocket. Alachua County Public Schools Equity and Inclusion Chief Officer Antonique Edwards says the room promotes development.
We can show the entire community that we are focused on the whole child, that achievement for students is not just about what happens academically in a classroom. We have to look at their mental health and their social and emotional supports that are necessary.
Rawlings joined 3 county schools in the unveiling of wellness rooms. Students at Marjorie K. Elementary are able to walk up this ramp and spend 5 minutes in a decompression room. Students can ground themselves here when experiencing frustration or anxiety. The landing room's designer, Tammy Curtis, understands the impact firsthand.
The idea started very small. It was actually in my own son's 2nd grade classroom, and he has ADHD and sensory processing disorder. And so it started with a little sensory station in his classroom, and then the idea grew to, well, if this works in a classroom, can it work for an entire school?
They say yes.
I'm excited because so many times our students are removed from classroom space for behavior, for anxiety, but if you actually are meeting those needs, then they can return back into their classroom spaces, restarting positively.
Antonique says it's that positivity that allows students to blast off to success.
The county's new wellness rooms are funded by a $52,000 grant from United Healthcare. The grant will also support the district's efforts to help students regulate emotions and cope with stress. Live in the studio, Alex Land, WUFT News.
School phone lines are now working after an outage left parents incommunicated. Parents can now call any Bradford County school without any issue. The outage had left parents with the only choice of paying schools a visit in the case of an emergency. According to officials, the outage was caused by an equipment issue. CenturyLink technicians worked on site until the lines were restored.
North Central Florida is about to showcase their culinary talent on national television. That's right, take a look at this. Michael Seagopin, son of a Marion County Fire Rescue Lieutenant, will be competing to earn the competitive title of Master Chef Junior. Michael's always had a passion through homemade cooking videos and special meals through the fire station. MCFR has deemed him their own official Junior Master Chef of Marion County Fire Rescue. We'll be cheering Michael on as he sautés his way to the top. It seems like we've got no shortage of culinary talent here in North Central Florida.
Absolutely. Best of luck to him. How fun. Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, the law trying to ban minors from social media goes back to the drawing board.
And an expo comes to town to help members of the community to prioritize their health and wellness. We have more on this and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Governor Ron DeSantis has vetoed the controversial bill that bans social media for minors across the state. On social media, DeSantis expressed his decision comes after new efforts of what he called a superior bill. The bill passed by the Florida House banned teens under 16 from accessing social platforms. Social media companies would have to verify age and terminate any account belonging to a minor in accordance. The bill required popular platforms such as Instagram and Facebook to use a third-party system for verification.
Ocala residents, you now have the opportunity to meet your new mayor in a town hall style meeting. Newly elected Mayor Ben Marciano will take over Mary Sue Rich Community Center on Wednesday to talk about his vision for the city. The mayor and the Ocala Police Department invite you to share your thoughts on the state of the city. The hour-long meeting will start at 6 p.m.
Dozens of Alachua County families focused on health and wellness over the weekend. The Gainesville chapter of a not-for-profit service organization hosts its annual Black Family Wellness Expo. The Lynx Incorporated hosted its annual Black Family Wellness Expo Saturday at Greater Bethel AME Church. It featured free mammograms, women's health exams, and Zumba classes. With the help of medical professionals in the community, there were more health vendors than ever. The goal was to raise awareness about health disparities in the Black community.
We are dying quickly and younger than our counterparts, and it is important that we know what it is that triggers these health disparities.
Gainesville will not be the only city to host this event. Other chapters of the organization will hold their own expos in the coming weeks.
One Marion County Fire Rescue team member has a new family after performing a unique rescue. Marion County Fire Rescue responded to a call Sunday asking for help saving a newborn calf trapped in the swamp. A farmer and his son reported the calf was in need of help after its mother passed away during birth. Units responded quickly and returned the calf to the station. A captain with Fire Rescue adopted the baby cow and the crew named her Mabel.
We are seeing a lot of sunshine in Gainesville right now, but we are tracking some storms that are coming in tomorrow. I'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up next.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
It's looking absolutely beautiful outside right now. Lots of clouds in the sky, lots of sunshine, 74 degrees in Gainesville. It does feel like 73 right now, and let's have a look at those current temperatures. It's looking really nice and warm outside today, 75 degrees in Gainesville, 73 degrees in Hawthorne, 76 degrees in Reddick, but that sunshine will not continue tomorrow. We're tracking some storms happening out west. Here's a look at Texas, McComb and Baker. A lot of rain concentration coming into these areas. We got a lot of rain concentration coming into the Gulf as well. And those are going to move towards the peninsula on Tuesday. We're going to see a lot of rain coming in, a lot of moisture in the air by the peninsula, and we're really going to see that rain start to come in on Tuesday. Let's have a look at that future radar. We're going to see that rain coming in at around p.m. And then we're also going to see the rain start to continuously come towards 6 p.m. and keep coming for the rest of the day as well. Now let's have a look at tomorrow morning. We're going to wake up in the 60s. It's going to be a little bit cloudy, and then those rain chances are really going to come in. Thunderstorms and rain, it's going to be 74 degrees as well. Now we got some patchy fog coming into the area later this evening. Got temperatures in the 60s, 61 degrees in Gainesville, 62 degrees in Ocala, 63 degrees in the Villages. This is what's going to feel like when we wake up. Now we are going to track our muggy meter right now. Now the dew point temperature is the measure of moisture in the atmosphere. Dew point temperatures are going to be in the 60s, and then they're going to drop once that rain comes down and go on Thursday to the 50s as well. Now let's have a look at the rest of the evening. Temperatures are going to go down to the 60s this evening. Still going to be nice and dry for the remainder of your day, but as we go towards the week, we're going to see a lot more rain chances coming on Tuesday and Wednesday with a lot of that heavy rainfall. We're going to get some nice temperatures on Thursday and Friday, and then on Saturday is when we're going to see that rain come back. Back to you.
Hawthorne High School has a lot to celebrate this week as they took to the basketball court in Lakeland, Florida to go for gold in the 1A state championship. The Hornets certainly didn't disappoint in this outing. I'll bring you this and more in my report when I get back.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. As always, I'm Alexis Vivanco. We kick things off with some high school hoops this past weekend. WUFT's Ben McLeish takes us to Lakeland to recap Hawthorne High's historic day.
For the second year in a row, the Hawthorne High School girls basketball team has won the 1A state championship. Down by 5, heading into the fourth quarter, the Hornets surged past Graceville in the final minutes to secure a 43-40 victory and back-to-back state championships. Junior Demaya Adams had an incredible game for Hawthorne, playing all 32 minutes and scoring 17 points. Head coach Cornelius Ingram has now won 4 state championships at Hawthorne in just 2 years, 2 in girls basketball and 2 in football.
You know, to be able to be 4-0 in state championship games the last 2 years, unbelievable feeling, man. Unbelievable feeling.
From Jiggins Arena in Lakeland, Florida, Ben McLeish, WUFT News.
Williamston's boys also managed to keep the good times rolling with a strong showing of their own, facing off against Hilliard High School for a shot at the 1A state championship. The biggest game of the season all comes down to this. Williston managed to keep a good pace through 3 quarters, but the fourth put things away to secure Williston's victory 61-53. Head coach Jim Irvin broke down the keys to the Red Devils' season-long success.
We believe in defense, and that's the reason we held them to where they were at. We know our offense is going to eventually start clicking. So you know, that just says a lot about the kids. You know, they just stayed to the message that we send to them, and they got it done once again in their offense.
Williston joins Hawthorne as the second Gainesville area squad to win consecutive state championships since Gainesville High School over 20 years ago. The same can't be said for the Gators men's basketball team and their weekend road trip against number 18 South Carolina. The Gators managed to outpace the Gamecocks in the first, breaking out to a 37-31 lead at the end of the first half. The second half told a different story. 12 turnovers, including 5 in the last 3 minutes, helped catalyze a Gamecock comeback with a final score of 82-76. Still, a Todd Golden-led Gators team knows the key difference to getting back on a winning track.
The defense, again, being the main thing. You know, we can't be in a situation where if we have 3 possessions where we don't score, that the game's tightened up on us. You know, and I feel like that's been the biggest issue.
Looking ahead, the Gators will play their last home game tomorrow against the Alabama Crimson Tide. The Florida gymnastics teams made history this past weekend, claiming sole possession of the SEC title with a win over Kentucky. The night was marked by a resounding 10 by freshman Anya Pilgrim on the floor routine that clinched the win for the Gators, making it their 6th consecutive Southeastern Conference regular title season. Florida's winning score of 198.225 makes it a season high for the Gators, who look to build on their performance at a quad meet in Nebraska. The Gators women's basketball team had the chance to honor their seniors as well as celebrate senior Leilani Correa's 2,000th point this past weekend. Unfortunately, Auburn had other plans in mind for their senior send-off. Gators led the contest to start, but the Tigers kicked it into high gear to take the lead in the second and third. Even a 23-point and 10-rebound performance from Leilani Correa could not help the Gators finish throughout the regular season on a high note. Next up, a trip to Greenville, South Carolina for the SEC tournament on Wednesday. In some more college basketball news, Iowa's Caitlin Clark officially became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer yesterday during her game against Ohio State.
Thank you, Alexis, for that weekend sports update. It's always such an exciting time. I watched the Gators gym meet just yesterday, and seeing Anya's 10 was absolutely electric. So I'm sure I wish it was here, you know, instead of away.
And I've never been to a gymnastics meet. I really need to. I can't believe I haven't. But I do watch them on TV, and they're just incredible. It's so great to watch them. You know, it doesn't look like it's going to be great tomorrow. Am I going to need my rain jacket? Am I going to need my umbrella?
Yeah, Kennedy, you definitely are going to need that rain jacket tomorrow, because let's have a look at that weather right now. Tomorrow we're going to get a lot of rain chances coming in on Tuesday, a lot of thunderstorms and rain for the rest of the day. And then on Wednesday, we're also going to see maybe a 40 to 50% chance of rain. And then Thursday, Friday, it's going to be a little bit more dry. Temperatures are going to be in the 80s, going to feel really nice outside. And then Saturday, it's going to feel a lot of rain and showers we're going to see on Saturday. And then Sunday and Monday, it's going to be a lot drier.
See, I thought it was April showers brings May flowers, but it seems like they've come early. Thanks again. BBC World News is up next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
But your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. We all wish you a wonderful night.